Hello, grade 7. How are you all doing? I hope you all are doing great. So, today we will be doing your chapter number 20th, which is Institutional Representation of Democracy. Now, we already learned about democracy in the last class. So, we are going to learn, uh, various institutions, their forms, and process associated these, with it. So in the modern age, most of the states have a democratic form of government, which we have already read. So this is a small introduction, what we learned in the last class. People elect their representative for a fixed period of time. The elected representative run the government in accordance to the wish of us, people who voted them. And yesterday we discussed the famous definition of Abraham Lincoln also, that it's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And how do we elect the representative? By giving a precious vote. So in this chapter, we will be discussing various institutional forms and processes associated with democracy. So number one is UAF, which we already discussed in the last class. We are going to learn more about it today. It's Universal Adult Franchising. What is it? The right to express one's choice by vote is called franchising. Almost all scholars admit that franchising should be given to all the citizens without any discrimination. So that is why we call it UAF, Universal Adult Franchising. It is considered as the only basis of democracy. Adult franchising means the right to vote should be given to all the adult citizens without any distinction of caste, creed, religion, class, or sex. There should be no qualification of property or education also. Only lunatics, minors, bankrupts, criminals, and aliens are not allowed to vote. The age of adulthood differs from country to country. For example, in some countries it is 16, some in 18, some have 21. So India has 18 years of age. Means after 18 years, or when you are 18, then you can vote, or greater than 18 can vote, but lesser than 18 can't vote. Rationale behind the UAF. So it is based on political equality. One person, one vote is now the accepted principle in all democratic countries. The principle of equality holds that everybody, whether rich or poor, young or old, black or white, man or woman, learned or illiterate, should have equal voice in democracy. It establishes a true democratic government. If democracy stands for government of the people, by the people, and for the people, then every citizen have the right to vote. It makes a government responsible to all. Government affects all. Yes, whatever happens, government, if kuch change bhi karti hai, to it affects us. So it must be responsible to all. So this is possible only when right to vote is given to all. What are elections? It's an indirect or representative democracy. People have a representative government. It is through elections that people elect the representative who form the government. So there are many parties, Congress, BJP, SAPA. So whatever, suppose if the ABC parties are there, I'm not going to take any name. So if I like A party, you like B party, or some other person like C party, so we will go and we will vote for them. So whoever is going to get the highest number of votes will going to make the government. And from that particular party only the representative will be chosen for the position of PM. The significance of elections in a democracy. The main basis of the modern democracy is the cooperation of the people with the government. The people are given the right of the formation of government by using their right of franchise. It also judges the performance of the government. If the work of the government is satisfactory, the people may again give right. Suppose if I have voted A, means many people have voted A and it's working brilliantly. Obviously, if people are happy with A government, next time also A government will come. The elections create public interest in administration and the government is legislated by the popular support. It is a medium of peaceful change of government. लड़ाई वड़ाई कुछ नहीं, peaceful तरीके से government is always made. Why? Because none of the representative of any government is coming forward कि नहीं मैं बनूंगा, I am going to run the country. We are the people. We people are deciding who's going to run our country now, who will be the leader. Reasons for adoption of secret ballot. Whenever we go to vote, so it's, in open we never vote. It's always a secret ballot. It is hidden between a carton or something like that. In the clothes or carton is always there, so that you can vote without telling anyone. You're not supposed to disclose it. In a secret ballot, the voters can express their choice freely and without any fear. Somebody cannot force someone to, suppose if A is forcing me or threatening me that you have to vote me, otherwise I'll kill you. Just giving you an example. So I can say, "Ha, theek hai, I'll vote you," and then I'll go to the secret ballot. I can vote anyone. Why would I that A who's telling me that I'm going to do this and that, right? So in that secret ballot, nobody knows now. Okay, I can say, "Yeah, I voted you," or something like that. So this is always secret, and I don't have to, I don't have to be afraid of anyone. That it's actually it's a right. Nobody can force you also. This is another scenario, but if you take it otherwise, at many places this thing also happens. So we have the right to vote freely. We can vote anyone we like. The voter is free from pulls and pressures under the secret ballot system. It brings about the desired changes, but without any ill feeling and negative attitude. Election procedure. In a vast country like India, it is not easy to hold elections because India is a huge country, and to manage so many people, it's a task. Its preparation requires sufficient time. As such, the Election Commission remains busy throughout the year in making arrangements for the same. The preparation for election requires the preparations for electoral rolls. The name of all the adults living in the territorial constituency are enrolled in one general electoral roll. Each state is divided into territorial constituencies in such manner that the ratio between the population of each constituency and the number of seats allotted to it shall be same throughout the state. Announcement of election dates. Now this is a procedure. What happens? Actual process of election starts with the announcement of the dates. Second, nomination is filled. After the date of election is declared, the candidates file the nomination paper to consent the election. Their names are proposed and seconded by the voters. They are also required to deposit a definite amount as the security deposit. The returning officers scrutinizes the paper and allows the candidates to contest the elections if they are found in order. The candidates are given a last chance to withdraw their names if they wish from the consent. Then the final list of the candidates is prepared. That who is coming forward for the elections. Allotment of symbols. Now, in India there are some people who don't know how to read. So this is a very simple thing. If I am impressed with A and I don't know how to read and write, if I am impressed with A, I like A. Suppose the symbol is this thumbs up. So I don't need to write I don't need to read what is written in front of thumbs up. I'll see where is thumbs up, something, and I'll give vote to thumbs up. So there are different symbols. Hand is there, lotus flower is there, charu is there, many are there, cycle is there, hathi is there, many are there. We're going to study them. The national parties have their permanent symbols. Other parties and independent candidates are also allotted symbols so that the voters can recognize the candidate easily. Election propaganda. Intested propaganda is carried out with the filling of nomination papers of the candidate. The political parties bring out their election manifestos. They stress upon their policies and programs and try to impress the voters. The periodicals and the dailies publish articles on the policies and programs of the various political parties. The parties attract the electorate by holding meetings, processions, and door-to-door conveyances. Actual poll. On the fixed day, the polling starts. The voters are given ballot paper containing the names and the election symbols of the candidate consisting the election. Voting is held using a new electronic voting machine. We call it EVM device introduced recently. Counting the results. After the polling time is over, all the ballot boxes are sealed and sent to a central place for counting. On the fixed day, the counting takes place in the presence of the candidate, and results are declared by appropriate authority. Election petitions. If a candidate feels that irregularities have taken place and corrupt practices have been adopted by the winning candidate, he can file election petition in the court of law. If the charges are proved, the election of the candidate is declared null, means cancelled, and fresh elections takes place from that constituency. Now we'll talk about political parties. Election and political parties are inseparable. Both form an integral part of democracy. A political party is a group of persons having the same political belief and ideology. A party's belief, policies, and programs are contained in their election manifesto. All parties publish their policies through newspaper, public meetings, and other means and try to create public opinion in their favor. They play a vital role in democracy by educating people about the important issues, whereas the ruling party tries to highlight the achievement of its government. The opposition parties criticizes the policies and misrule of the government. They convey the grievance and expectations of the people to the government. Importance of political parties in democracy. Express the wishes of people. A democratic government suits the wishes of the people. It expresses the wishes of the people. It creates public opinion regarding various problems of the country. It also creates interest in people towards national problems. In fact, these issues are vital for the success of democracy. Second is create interest in public political activities. Political parties create the political interest in the country and educate the people. They bring order out of the chaos of multitude of voters. Third, cooperation in government activities. Cooperation in every activity of the government is possible only due to the presence of political parties. They also contribute to the formation of public opinion by their efforts. Political parties are the foundation stone of parliamentary government. Now, what are the characteristics of party system if we'll talk about in India? So the number of political parties in India is very large. There are too many parties. Many of them have a communal orientation. India is a large country. The problem of its various regions are different. Hence, the regional parties are formed to solve local problems. Many political parties have the same aims. In India, about 1.5 dozen political parties believe in socialism. All of them claim to be real socialist parties. Since long, there has been one-party dominance coalition government as a recent development only. Family dynastic rule exists in all the parties. Defection in old practice, though Anti-Deflection Act of 1985 has banned deflection. Still, some loopholes exist in this act which are used to topple the popularly elected government. Political parties in India are categorized into two types, national and state level parties. National level are the parties that exist all over the India, whereas state or regional, they are limited to a single state only. Policies and programs of major national parties of India. So we are going to talk about today INC Congress 1, that is Indian National Congress. We have other parties also, BJP we are also going to discuss. First is this. So INC is the oldest political party in India, established in 1885 by A.O. Hume. It formed the first national government in India. There was a split in Congress in 1969. The Congress was removed from the power in 77 and returned to power in 1980. Again, it lost the election in 89, 96, 89, 98 and 99. It returned to power in 2004 and 9 and formed a coalition government at the center. It was removed from power in 2014. Its election symbol is a human hand. In general election of 2014, Congress issued its election manifesto. It laid emphasis on the following. Every attempt shall be made to establish democratic socialism. Political democracy is meaningless if there is no economic equality. Every effort shall be made to narrow the gap between rich and poor. There shall be no discrimination between citizens on the ground of religion. All religion will be equally respected. So these kind of manifesto, what they are going to do when they'll get this position. So this is what they write. Now BJP, just go through it. BJP created an independent status for itself after 7th Lok Sabha election. In the general election of 1991, it won the second largest number of seats and formed a strong opposition. In 96, the BJP secured largest number of seats along with allies. However, it could not prove its majority on the floor of the House. In 98 election, BJP led 14 parties alliance formed a coalition government at the center, and in 1999, it formed an alliance of 24 parties named as NDA and formed the coalition government at the center. BJP was removed from the power in 2004 and 9, but it returned in the power in 2014 election. It has the status of symbol of lotus flower. So according to the manifesto which they gave when they came for the election, they were fighting for the election. So these were the points which they mentioned. Now we'll talk about CPI. CPI was formed in 1925 in India. It believes in violent methods. During the Chinese invasion, the party got split into two. The leftist faction supporting China was Marxist Communist Party, and the pro-Russia rightist faction was called CPI. The CPI allied itself with Congress. Its election symbol is sickle and sheaf of paddy. Its policy and program include the following: to oppose imperialism and capitalism, to nationalize all the industries and to remove economic and social disparities, to take over the wholesale trade in food, grains, and other essential commodities, to take step in the interest of Harijans, backward classes, and minorities, and so on. So this is Marxist CPIM. So this is what their policy and program says. Free and compulsory education up to the age of 40, right to work to be made a fundamental right, nationalism of all the foreign investments and all monopolies, foreign trade to be brought under public undertakings, and so on. So these are the signs and names, symbols and names of the parties. Major regional political parties. In some states, regional parties have been in power for a long time. The rationale behind the emergence of the regional parties is that India is a vast country with many geographical, cultural, and ethnic diversities. The need and aspiration of one region differ from the other. The national parties do not attach much importance to regional feelings. The regional parties can better understand and serve the local feelings and problems. So these are the important regional parties. You can go through the names and symbols. Role of opposition parties. The MPs and other than those of the ruling party form the opposition, official opposition. Their role may be summed up as under: to provide political alternative, to expose anti-people activities of the administration, to oppose the anti-people policies of the government, formulation of public opinion, to create political awakening, to express popular emotions and urges, to act as a responsible opposition party. What is coalition government? When a single political party fails to form its government owing to insufficient number of members, it has to seek help and cooperate with the other political party to form the government. The government thus is formed, whatever government at the time is formed after collaborating with the other government is called coalition government. The first collaborative government at the center was formed in the 6th general election in 1977. NDA had 24 parties at the time, 1999 to 2004. So in 2004 and 9, UPA government is also coalition formed by more than 10 parties. This government allows representation of various regional parties. However, decision making takes more time over certain issues. Why? Because of different views of different parties. Because in one single party, they have their one main focus. But when two parties come together, their thinking is different, their manifestos are different, everything is different. So decision making takes a long time here. At the state level, coalition government were formed after the 4th general election. This is all about the chapter. Make sure you go through the symbols and names properly. All right. Read it once again, you will be able to understand. Thank you so much.